What the heck? Her bankai is gonna is her? Hi everyone, I'm going to react to Bleach, 1000 Year Blood War, episode 10, The Battle. And the last episode was what's his name? Got crowned. The leader of the captains, and like he took over Gerusa's role, and then he wanted to teach Kenpachi something, Sanjutsu, whatever that means. And then turns out that Unohana was gonna be the one to teach him that. And Unohana used to be part of the original all the squads. She was part of the original war against the Quaces. And she's someone that Kenpachi admired and wanted to be like. And then they went underground, and then they were having this battle, and apparently only one of them is gonna survive. And I'm like, why does it have to be like that? But yeah, so that's going on. Was that the same episode where was Ichigo and the others ate, and now they're supposed to go to this the next person that they're supposed to go to is the one that created this Zanpakuto. So I'm like, okay, looking forward to that. So that's what happened last episode. And before we get into this one, if you guys have my reaction, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and please consider supporting me on Patreon at patreon.com/feelme. And now let's start this episode, and here we go. Okay. Kenpachi has a Zanpakuto now, I guess. I mean, he always had a sword, right? But he just didn't have a bankai. Is the sword just Zanpakuto? He can hear his sword now and stuff. So does that mean it must mean that he has a bankai now, right? I don't know. I guess I'm still confused a little bit about what a Zanpakuto is compared to, like a bankai is it like a bankai? No, a Zanpakuto has like two modes, I guess, the Shikai and then the bankai. And then the art of using a Zanpakuto soul cutter sword is the primary tool and weapon of the Shinigami and the Yarangar. Though their function in each group differs, the art of using the Zanpakuto in its regular sword state is called the Zanjutsu. And that's why, or swordsmanship. That's what that dude wanted him to learn. So I guess the art of swordsmanship. That's what. Okay, what is a Zanpakuto and a bankai? The Zanpakuto in Bleach, and it has two main levels to combat: Shikai, which triggers the blade into revealing its powers. And Bankai, which requires the wielder to manifest his Zanpakuto spirit and is vastly more powerful than the previous form. Okay. Yeah. Either way, he can hear the spirit in his Zanpakuto. Now he can hear his Zanpakuto. So he can, go Bankai if he wants. Or maybe he doesn't need to go Bankai. I feel like he needs to go Bankai. Whatever, man. It made sense when Unohana was speaking about how after facing her, he started suppressing his powers because he loves battle. He even said in this episode, and we know he does. He loves battles. He's always looking for the strongest person, to fight against and whatnot. And then you have Unohana, who after hundreds of years has just grown tired and bored, and she's also someone that loves battle. So she I love that moment when one of her, I don't know if it's her lieutenant or something, saw all this pile of bodies and he thought that it was her doing, when it turned out that it was Kenpachi's doing. And that's where they started battling each other. And, Zaki was also looking for someone strong enough to fight, right? And then he meets Unohana, and then they started battling. And Unohana can tell that Zaraki was stronger than her. And then during the midst of battle, clearly Zaraki also knew on some level that he was stronger than her, but because he's been living so far with no one that could take his fighting and everything, so he didn't want to lose her, so he basically put a block on his powers, and he brought his strength down to her level basically, and that made Unohana sad, and I love how Unohana went through all his previous battles, and he was saying how he narrowly lost to Ichigo. He narrowly won against Noitra, was that his name? That not Arrancar, the Espada, that I think he was the number 9 or 6, either way. How he narrowly won against him, and then all of that. And then she's like, from our point of view, ever since we were watching the show, we were thinking, okay, it's because these people are strong, and that's why he was having a hard time, I guess, against them. But then from her point of view, she knew what had happened, and what happened was that he put a block on his powers. If he wasn't fighting at full strength, he did that unconsciously. So now she's trying to get him to basically go back to the way he was when he was younger and he was stronger than her, trying to get him to release the shackles on his powers and everything. And then she went Bankai, and I guess in her Bankai state, she can heal her wounds, so that she can fight sort of like forever. And as she did that, I started thinking, this is basically when she did her Bankai, and I'm like, hey, we've never seen her Bankai before. And in my mind, I immediately went to Genryusai, because we saw him use his Bankai, and then he died. Excuse me. So when she went Bankai in this episode, I'm like, okay, so she's gonna die as well after displaying her Bankai, and then she's gonna die. And that's what happened. Zadak Kenpachi, he's now back to how he used to be. He has released himself from the shackles or whatever, and now he killed her. Now my thing is, where I was confused is that after he basically killed, like when he dealt the fatal blow, and then she was like, I released all my powers to you or something or other, and there was this image of her, sort of like her blood going away from her hands up to her sword that was coated red, and she's like, he's releasing all her powers to him or something or other like that. And then she was mentioning how her Sadaki's sword has awakened and everything. And then the next thing you see is the sword speaking to Kenpachi, and clearly that sword is voiced by the person that voiced Unohana. Okay, they have the same voice. So when she said, in my mind, I'm like, okay, when she said that she released her powers to him or something or other like that, even the name Kenpachi, I'm like, okay, is that possible for you to give your powers, like, like her Bankai is the healing thing, So when she did that, she said she released her powers. Did that go to him? way, some shape or form. I don't know. So I was confused about that. And then when they saw, was like, my name is, but then they didn't actually tell us what the name of the Zanpakuto is, you know. So I'm like, wait, what is it? Is it Unohana? And then they go to Ichigo and Renji, and then we meet Oetsu Nimaya, whatever. He brings them to this hole where you have all these Asauchis. That's what he was calling them, and they're like basically nameless Zanpakutos that when you join the Soul Reaper, whatever, when you were training with Soul Reapers, they use these Asauchis, and then they, with all the time that they spent with the Asauchi, their souls are sort of like imprinted on them, and then they become the personalized Zanpakuto that each Soul Reaper has, you know. And they were like, okay, he was like, these Asauchis were angry with them, and probably with the way they treated their own Zanpakuto, you know, have both of their Zanpakuto that are like broken and stuff, that they were angry with them, and or something or other like that. And then they were battling these Asauchis, and at the end of it, you know, like I said before, that I love the outro of Bleach. So each time it's done, I'm still here just like listening to the music and just like grooving and whatnot. I didn't even know there was gonna be an after credit, so I was just here, just, you know. And then I touched my mouse, and then I'm like, oh, there's like 3 minutes left, so there must be an outro, like after credit. And then the after credit, they were like, the guy is like, Ichigo, Renji, you passed. Ichigo, you failed, because you're a fake Soul Reaper. Basically, what I understood from that is that Ichigo has an identity crisis. Okay, he doesn't really know who he is, and until he knows who he is, he's not gonna be able to, like he mentioned the fact that an Asauchi didn't pick him, and the fact that he fought this long without an Asauchi, that he doesn't understand what those two things mean. I don't understand either. But I feel like because Renji is a Soul Reaper, like he is a Soul Reaper, he was able to pass this test. But then you have Ichigo over there. He's part Soul Reaper. He's part Quincy, and is he still part what are they called again? Hollows. Yeah, he's part Hollow. So it's like, and he didn't even know that he was Paul Quincy. So the guy sent him back to his origin, basically right in front of where his dad works at. So he needs to have a conversation with his father. It's like, you know, the mom is a Quincy. He didn't know that. The father was a Soul Reaper. He didn't know that until, you know, he started going on his adventure. That's when that was revealed. And then he had part of Hollow powers as well. So it's like the dude is like confused about who he is. So if you don't know who he is, who you are. If you don't know who you are, how are you supposed to, you know where you're going? No. The saying about knowing where you come from to know where you're going, or something like that. That's the saying that goes somewhere along those lines. So it's like you need to figure out where you came from, and then you can figure out where you're going and all of that. But then the guy is like, even if you figure it out, you're not gonna come back to the Soul Society. So he's gonna come back one way or the other. I just don't know how. Okay, so yeah, I think that's all that happened this episode. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like this reaction, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and if you want to see my reaction to the next episode, you can do so by checking out my Patreon at patreon.com/filmmini, and you can also see the full line for this reaction there as well. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. Tu n'as pas pitié de toi si tu ne sais pas d'où tu viens. Faut au moins savoir où tu vas.